It has been a long and strange road, but we are finally here. Those are the last Epoch patch 1.0, patch overview, aka patch notes. I will do a rundown. I haven't seen this yet. I haven't really read through the patch notes yet, so I'm as excited as you are to see like what the hell is going on here. This will be, of course, a big one. And I have been following Last Epoch since I first found it on Kickstarter. I'm back there. I played the demo on Kickstarter, which has still a few things in the game which reminds me of it, like especially the trees and whatnot. But yeah, the game has come a very, very long way. So with that said, enough talk. This will be a long video anyway, so let's just watch this and see what we get, shall we? I might have to...
Hello, travelers. My name is
So,
Judd
let's see.
Kobler, game director for Last Epoch and founder of 11th Hour Games. I want to
Hi!
welcome all of our new community members joining us for the official
Welcome.
launch of Last Epoch.
Yes.
And give a huge
Oh
thank
god,
you
that
to all
poster.
of you who have been with us throughout early access.
Or the
Because
iteration
your
of the
tremendous
Last
support,
Epoch
we're
logo.
launching a game that
Huh.
was just a dream not too long ago, and we're extremely excited to share it with all of you.
Damn, I have been there.
Last Epoch began as an after-hours passion project founded by a Reddit post in 2017.
Haven't
A
been
group
there
of us
yet.
ARPG enthusiasts banded together and set off
This
on our
one,
dream
though.
to create the next
Yeah, I remember the
action
demo.
RPG. This was to be a game made by us players who were passionate about the genre
Yep.
and would always listen to the community that plays
And it
these
was
games
already
as their
fun.
hobby, because that's who we are too. That was a pretty lofty goal, considering we had absolutely no funding. The majority of our early founders had never worked in the games industry, and we were mostly just die-hard action RPG fans, wanting to ensure that our hobby had a bright future. Through Kickstarter,
This was also
and the
still
support of our
when
incredible
Diablo 4
community,
wasn't
we've grown
even
from a
announced
development team of
yet.
Just 5 or 6 to over 90 people from across the world who've banded together through a love of collecting loot and building awesome heroes. Our unconventional studio
That
has
looks
been
so
able
good
to
now.
achieve things that typically require much larger
They
companies.
definitely,
And I attribute that to our
wow,
team's intense
upgrade the
collective
graphics.
desire to make the next great action RPG, the game that
This
we
looks
want to play
great.
as fans for all of us. We're incredibly excited that in just a couple days we'll be launching the 1.0 version of Last Epoch,
2 days.
marking the beginning of our journey with you in the world of Etera.
Well,
a world where we plan to release
probably the
powers to
servers will be
discover,
broken
gods to
completely.
slay, loot to find, and in-game challenges to conquer for years to come. For those of you who are brand new, Last Epoch is a loot-based, top-down action RPG where you will travel through time in a desperate attempt to save the fated world of Etera. Along your journey, you will choose
Which we
to
will
ascend
find out
into
if
one
we
of 15
manage.
different mastery classes, each with unique skills,
Because
passives,
we never
and
found out in
profiles,
early access.
as you take on divine gods, immortal empires, and the all-devouring void. In Last Epoch, you'll find over 125 class skills, each with its own customizable and transformative skill tree. You'll find a deep loot system.
Check
with
out
over
my newest
300
video,
unique
which is
items,
focusing
each
on
with
the
its own
differences to
ability-defining
other
power you won't
RPGs.
find anywhere else. Powerful idols that fit strategically into your inventory, and our renowned legendary system, which can take even the most unassuming uniques and turn them into the most powerful items in the game. You'll need all of that power at your disposal when you enter our expansive endgame
That's new.
that includes ancient dungeons, an endless ranked arena
Well,
of champions, and shattered timelines in the monolith of fate. If you're new to the world of Last Epoch, you've picked the perfect time to jump in. We've made sure that Last Epoch is a game that you can
Not
dive
quite,
into
but-
without any prior information. But if you're looking for help, there are a ton of great starter guides made by our awesome community
man, this
of
looks
content
great.
creators who have put in a lot of effort into providing entertaining and informative content for Last Epoch fans. There's also an in-game guide that provides you all the information you need to go from a beginner to having an advanced understanding of the game. Now let's
should
talk
use it.
about what's new in Last Epoch. The full release of Last Epoch brings
This is
about
great
the final
art.
remaining 2 masteries, the Falconer and the Warlock. The
I will
Falconer
play the
emerges
Warlock on
as the
release
third
and the
mastery for
Falconer.
the Rogue, showcasing an impressive command of tactical traps and deadly falconry. With her fierce avian companion, she
Interesting.
weaves through the battlefield with quick wits and unscrupulous tactics, forging an unbreakable bond with her falcon ally through the falconry skill. Initiating
It's a
falcon strikes and deploying skills like battle bomb and
hyperactive
aerial
falcon.
assault, the falconer brings tactical chaos to the battlefield, leaving her enemies unsure of what they should fear
Tactical
next,
chaos.
the talon or the
Right.
blade. Along with the new class comes some exciting new unique items that empower new playstyles if you're lucky enough to find them. Today, I want to show off
Looks
Falcon
very
Fists.
maneuverable.
This rare unique lets you dive all in on empowering your Falcon's attacks while turning your melee hits into an explosive Falcon punch. Finally,
Falcon
stepping out of the
Punch!
darkness is the long-awaited Warlock, a new class mastery for the Acolyte, set on tearing into the essence of her foes, twisting and corrupting their spirits.
Looks
The
also
Warlock
very
wields an arsenal of new
fast.
curses, each uniquely designed to dim the mind, break the body, and inflict pain. Rain down chaos bolts, feast on the souls of your enemies, and break open the ground, unleashing destructive necrotic energy
lighting.
and unyielding undead husks. What Warlock is complete without an arsenal of unique items to curse and corrupt their foes? One such treasure is quite literally the spine of your enemies,
Tentacles?
turning your chthonic fissure into a set of rapidly striking flame whips. The Warlock
Tentacle
and Falconer
whips.
aren't the only travelers who will be wielding new skills in
let's
Terra.
be honest here.
The Primalist is adding 2 new powerful skills to his arsenal. Gathering
Good.
Storm, which calls down bolts of lightnings upon the enemies around you, and a redesigned Tempest Strike, which wields the power of wind, frost,
This was
and
definitely a
thunder,
class
with all
which
3
needed
elements coming to bear
a
at
lot
the
of
tip your
love.
weapon.
Had a bit of a
Paladin is
rework.
receiving a powerful new skill tree to complete his divine arsenal.
Yeah.
In addition to erupting holy judgment,
I think the
and protecting
Paladin
allies with auras and
was one
sigils,
of the last
Paladin
few
will harness
classes,
the
or even
power
the
of
last
healing
class,
hands,
which
a
didn't
skill capable of keeping
had a
allies
talent
alive,
tree
as
for
well
one
as
of its
burning the evil
abilities.
out from the enemies of Terra, especially the undead and void abominations. We continue to improve, update, and strengthen every mastery in Terra. Countless skills have been
Hello,
rebalanced and
Spellblade.
modified. Our current page count for balance and updates is clocking in at 32
Wait, is that a
pages.
new
You can find
bear
all of the details
skill
on our
look?
forums. I'm
The bear
excited
looked
to share
different.
with you the
It
immense
had armor.
amount of visual and gameplay feel improvements
For the
coming with
Beastmaster.
the full release of Last Epoch. For 1.0,
Which it
we've
doesn't have right now.
overhauled and updated all of our character rigs and every single character animation. in
The
game.
animation looked
This means
so
that
much more
characters
fluid in
move
this.
more
Yes.
dynamically, their attack animations feel more impactful, and individual
Thank
character
God.
identities and
Everything looked
movements are
so
able to
stiff
shine
all the
through.
time.
You will also notice interface enhancements everywhere you look. We've taken a lot of
Well,
time to improve
hello
user
there.
visuals and provide better information
Well,
across
of the new icons, man.
We've made big updates to lighting and shadows, with new tech that will be immediately noticeable to all returning Last Epoch players
Wow.
and tremendously improves the overall visual quality of the game. Additionally, we've added scene variants, which introduces random weather, season, and vegetation visuals throughout the echoes of the monolith. We're
What?
also bringing many new and updated enemies to the world of
Ew.
Ethereum that you will find all throughout the
Awesome.
game, including in mini
Hey, it's
campaign
me.
zones that have had significant updates. You'll notice wolves, bears, saber-tooths, and more have been updated. And of course, for you Primeless players,
Ha.
your companions are no exception.
Yeah,
For combat,
awesome.
we've made many improvements in addition to animation updates, including improved damage numbers that react to the direction of impact, increased
That's
hit
cool.
sounds in the audio mix, brought back screen shake settings, and increased the visual weight of some hit effects. This has combat
Nice.
feeling better than ever. We've added a significant amount of new 2D and 3D visuals for character gear and items.
That was
including
cool,
new item
man.
tooltips that truly showcase the outstanding loot in Terra. Earlier this year,
The
we
interface
released
looks
information
so
on our
good now.
much-anticipated item factions system, and we are excited to see players get to experience this for the very
It's
first
insane
time
what this
with
game
its
did go
release.
through.
Will you choose to align with the Merchants Guild and gain access to the bustling bazaar and an economy of travelers and trade, all collectively
Nope.
bargaining and hunting for the
Self
best
owned.
items Terra has to offer? Or will you join the Circle of Fortune, set your
Yup.
sights to the stars, and increase your chances of finding the ultimate weapons and armor through prophecy?
I'm glad that they give you the
Either way
option.
you choose to hunt for incredible items in Last Epoch, you won't have to worry about your friends losing out on the perfect upgrade that happens to drop from
Yeah,
them
they
while
explained
they're
that
away.
before.
With a new resonance system, you will have a chance to gain resonance with your friends who you fight alongside. Using a resonance will allow you to gift items directly to your friends, but be sure to be picky, as resonances are powerful resources.
Okay.
Our full release is also bringing a staggering amount of balance updates, new unique items, new item
Hey,
actions,
the Melt Your
new
Brain
item
class,
bonuses, and much,
aka the
much
Room
more.
Master,
If you'd like to learn
aka
everything
the
that is coming in
Invoker
Last
from
Epoch
Dota 2.
1.0, please visit our patch notes on the forum using the link in the description.
Yes,
down
we will
below.
do that in a second.
Once again, I want to sincerely thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts. We are a team formed from the ARPG community, and to be able to make it this far with Last Epoch and share this creation with you is a dream come true.
I
We
mean,
cannot wait for you to experience the full release and the awesome plans we have.
releasing a
We'll see
game,
you in Terra on February
especially
21st.
from just having an idea on Reddit, is such a monumental step forward. It's fantastic. But with that said, how about we're having a very quick look here at the patch notes which also happened. And so they're talking about the Falconeer, the Warlock, okay, 2 new Masteries. That's a big thing. Item factions, we already had that. I talked about this in a separate video. If you want to check it out, it's on my channel. New skills, resonances. Yes, we already had that. Cycles. I don't think that that 1.0 really has something specific going on for cycles. I don't think they are doing this. Full offline mode. This has been demanded by the community since the beginning because there were actually people who just said, I don't want to be online. I don't want to have anything to do with the community. I don't want to just be affected by servers. Like, give me an ability to play this game without internet. Why does this game need to have internet? And they listened. Look at that. Diablo 4 and Diablo 3. It is absolutely possible to play this without internet now. Yep, that is fantastic. Of course, that means bug report and support tickets are removed, chat item linking is disabled, region selection is unavailable, online character tab is hidden, can return to the landing zone page after selecting offline. Yeah, that makes sense. if you want to play fully offline, then you cannot use the online features. I mean, it's not that hard, right? The Steam variant system, they talked about this. It still looks absolutely amazing. Love it. The new lighting system looks fantastic. 2.5D cinematics. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder how that goes exactly. Oh, this replaces the old class-specific intros. Oh, a fully new intro cinematic. 8 other cinematics added throughout the campaign chapters. Updated all character classes with model improvements. Yeah, we had that. Great. I'm full for it. Endgame Rebalance. So this will probably be a pretty long one. I will not go through every single rebalance because if not, we will sit here for the next 2 hours probably. I want to still keep it relatively compact. So we have made enemy power come less from endgame modifiers and more from the inherent strength of high-level enemies and the base effect of corruption, primarily to achieve a more predictable experience in high corruption monoliths. Good. Good. That was definitely one of the problems this game had. Spikes. This game has a spike problem. There were clearly moments where it was a breeze to go through the end game, and then you just have this one level where you jumped into the level and you're like, I'm here and I'm dead. Okay, thanks for having me, I guess. Yes. Disable bonus XP from arena for character below level 50. Boo. Boo. Certain arena mods have been adjusted because of the buffed enemies globally. Overall, we expect that it will be more difficult at a baseline. I can see that. I mean, if you were looking at the ladder system right now in Last Epoch, I want to say PoE sometimes. Last Epoch, you will see that there is a ridiculous amount between place 10 and then spot 1, like the first one, right? And it's like, so number 10 has cleared 360 waves in the arena. Number 3 has cleared 4,537 waves. And you're like, what? How is it even? What? Yeah. They had to clear up the arena. Campaign. Many campaign scenes have been tuned to look and perform better. Good. New visual elements. Okay. The encounters in Chapter 4, 5, and 6 have been overhauled. Nearly all 4 and 5 and 6 scenes contain semi-randomized or fully randomized enemy placements. Oh, that's interesting. Many enemies with ults have been removed. Have been added. Oh, the Rave Dunes no longer has infinitely spawning Raves. Finally, you can go AFK and not being murdered in the meantime. That's nice. Okay, larger Imperial enemies. I wonder if they... I wonder if they have reworked. Doesn't seem like it. Some of the bosses. I thinking about the squid friend. Just for a second there. Ugh. Enemies in tier 1 dungeons deal 35% less damage and they have less health. Good. Good. Because I have to say, yes, you are entering endgame and all that, but man, the moment you sometimes entered your first dungeon, you got hit by a brick wall. Like, ooh, the mountain beneath grants 150 more experience. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Oh, this is granting less experience. Huh. Because, so for everyone wondering what the hell is going on here, it's pretty simple. People have been looking for ways to level very fast in last epoch for their twinks, right? And so what they have been doing is they have been finding certain dungeons where they just can grind faster XP, and it seems like they want to accommodate this. Like Lightless Arbor was always the go-to farming XP thing, and it seems like they are leaning into this even more, but they also want to give you at least the first tiers with more experience. Huh. Interesting. Huh. Okay, we will see how that plays out. Monolith of Fate. Grand Echo of Solarum. Oh, they completely changed the blessings here partially. They increased the resistance. That's good. Not everyone used the resistance. Virtue of Command. So it seems like they buffed everything here, which is good. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the blessings you got were pretty cool, but you mostly were just going with the blessings which give you like better loot, so to speak, right? You always wanted to go with that, and a lot of people just ignored the damage or defense numbers if they could. And it seems like they just wanted to improve now those things. Yeah, that makes sense. Corruption scaling. These changes are intended to allow for faster progression through the model for characters that are capable of it. Thank God. I definitely had characters where I was very lucky with the loot I got, right? And also I leveled very fast. And I couldn't just progress fast enough with the corruption. It was tedious. It was absolutely tedious. So this is great. Again, this is great. Okay. Average legendary potential and Weaver's Will now also scale up slightly with corruption. Oh, damn. That's interesting. That's really good. Okay. Monolith mob density, normalized mob density. It is now 4% lower than before. Oh, really? I never. I weird. I never felt like the mob density in the monoliths were too high. But okay, we will see. Retain the existing base value. Enemies are deadly now. Receive increased item rarity. Oh, wow, that's a boost. Holy moly, that's a huge boost. Increased item rarity. Interesting. Oh, monolith mods and values are now static and no longer scale up with the corruption or the distance from the center of the echo web. I think this is a lot of work they did when they just talked about they want to streamline the system and want to make sure that they are not really like spikes anymore in the whole thing, or tune down the spikes quite a bit, because that was one of the biggest problems. Like, even if you played it safe, even if you looked for the best combination with modifiers on the enemies, which will not immediately one-shot you, you can still do this, I assume. But even if you try to avoid this very much, there were just moments where you just had those levels which were just devastating to you. So yeah, that makes sense. Disable bonus XP from Monolith for characters below 50. Wow, they really don't want to see you into the Monolith anymore before you are 50. Ugh, ugh, that's a bit unfortunate. Character creation. This makes sense. Remove Masochist challenge mode. Okay. Oh, oh, that's pretty neat. It's just an item you can now activate. Well, let's hope like a lot of people are not just activating it and don't understand what it does. Add a parry as a new defense type, as a new affix type. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow. That is such a huge boon to like I have been trying for a while now to make a build work like a retribution build, especially on the Sentinel. There were a few possibilities how you could basically make a retribution build work that hit me and I hit you back tenfold, right? Um, but because of how dodge worked and the defense stats was not really there, so yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, parrying is, huh, cool. I like that. Stun avoidance rework changed how stun avoidance affects chance to be stunned. Well, that's a pretty important thing. Interesting. Yeah, stunning was always a problem in this game. Like, there were builds and certainly certain playstyles where stun didn't mean anything to you. You didn't care for stuns, and then there were some builds where if you get stunned and you were in a stun lock at that point, it was devastating because you couldn't do much. So it was such a weird stat from do I really need this or is this completely useless to me? Right. Like it didn't like for a lot of people it didn't feel important even though it was, and some people put too much emphasis on the stun avoidance stat where it didn't even matter. It was a weird thing. That means the stun avoidance is no longer additive with health and is now particularly effective against hits that had small non-zero stand chance. Okay. Static to character level. Wow. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. So basically what this all means, just glancing at it right now, means less stun. Good. Good. Bosses are no longer pushable. Aww. When a player dies, their minions are now unsummoned. Aww. Not lying around anymore and waiting for my pets to finish the job. Hello, necromancers, looking into you here. Improved experience for skills with special requirements, such as channeled skills. Wonder what that means. Okay. Skill and passive changes. Again, I will not go through here because so for the necromancer, I mean they said they wanted to give some love to the necromancers because yes, the necromancer was pretty strong, but it was also pretty awkward to gear the necromancer sometimes. Not impossible or anything, it was just awkward, and if you didn't find the right gear, then your minions could have been trash. So glad that they are doing something about it. Mage skill, arcane ascendance. Seems like the black hole's getting some love. Giggity. Disintegrate has a 50% longer beam. I will put that into my thumbnail. Previously, the hitbox for all elemental version was slightly plus shaped. Thanks! Fireball is 30% faster and its duration is shorter, resulting in the same distance covered. Yeah, this is better. The fireball, like the amount of time you had a chance to actually miss a fireball because how slow the fireball was sometimes. Frost Claw. Phantom Frozen. Really? The Frost Claw gets a buff. How interesting. We will see that more. Like, right now the community was already taking a look at that build a little bit more. Frost Wall, let me guess. Crystal Protection now grants 20 ward from 30. Yeah. Yeah. Chill Touch now is up to 2 points. More damage to chilled enemies. Mana be consumed. Okay. It seems like a little bit like a nerf plus a buff because Frost Wall became the mage spell, even if you were not a Rune Master, and nearly every mage spec was using it anyways. So yeah, I can see that they wanted to change that up a little bit. Meteor. Seems like they are buffing it, which is to be expected. Meteor was a bit, Runebolt, that's a buff. Also all the runic invigorations, Earthquake. Oh, this is Primalist already. I assume we will see a lot of changes to Maelstrom, and yeah. Probably also to the summonings. Like as I said, they want to do some good stuff for the classes. The Ballista seems to... Wow, the Ballista gets a huge buff, which makes sense. I think the Ballista was one of those skills which was more a meme at this point. Where people were just like, hey, do you want to see my Ballista build? Really? Okay, show me. Like everybody knew like there is no Ballista build. Like, which was unfortunate because the Ballista was a pretty cool concept. But it seems like that this is now changing, especially with the Falconeer working more with this. Oh. Really? Ooh, the Shadow Daggers got nerfed, which was to be expected. If you don't know, Shadow Daggers is one of the main build for the Blade Dancer. It's a throwing blade build, and has been pretty devastating for the last few months. So again, nothing really too surprising here. Raising Strike, that gets a buff. Makes sense. Forge Strike gets a buff. Good, good, good. Hammer Throw doesn't really do anything. That they fixed. Rebuke seems to get a full buff, especially with the parry. Rebuke could be very interesting again. A Ring of Shields. Oh, didn't get any nerfs. Huh. Interesting. Shield Throw gets a buff. That was to be expected. Vengeance. Yeah, seems like they have some good buffs here. Man, this is a lot of patch notes. We are already getting close to 30-minute marks. I don't really want to stay like we are already too deep. This would go for another hour, so I would definitely put the patch notes into the description if you want to check it out. I don't really want to go through the whole thing. That's not really what I wanted. And yeah, I would say we are just ending it here. So far, this looks fantastic. Like a lot of things where the community felt they were not quite right. and it seems like they got all touched for 1.0, which is fantastic. I will definitely play it on Wednesday when it goes into 1.0, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out the live stream we're also doing here on YouTube. I know, crazy live streams on YouTube. Huh. And there will be, of course, more Last Epoch videos. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.